Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to Baltimore in Maryland in America. We're doing another visit to Stillwater Artisinal, who are of course a gypsy brewer. This is my second dedicated review to these guys, although I have done a couple of beers that they've been in collaboration with. But for this one we're having a taste of their extra dry. It does say Dorayu on front in katakana in Japanese of course, but this beer is called the extra dry. It's a sake style saison ale and it comes in at 4.2% ABV. Now if you've been following my channel for a wee while, you will know that my partner of course is Japanese, and I have to admit I love sake. I've done a couple of sake reviews on the channel for you. There will be more of those across June, July and August actually when I am in Japan, so keep an eye out for those. But sake is something that I absolutely love, and I'm really interested to see how Stillwater mimic the sake style flavours, and that could be really interesting with a saison I think. And of course this is what these guys are known for. They like to use a lot of really random ingredients and things in their beer, so if you get the chance to try some of these Stillwater beers, they are usually quite unusual in comparison to what you'd normally expect from a craft beer, so do give them a try if you come across them. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews I've done from Stillwater before. No doubt I will do some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the American beers that I've reviewed for you before. That's constantly being added to of course, and as always please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. Always interesting to hear from you guys, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Stillwater Artisinal then. So Stillwater Artisinal is the venture of nomadic gypsy brewer Brian Stillwater Strimka, who's actually a native of Baltimore in Maryland, as I've mentioned to you before, and he's actually a former world-renowned techno DJ and also producer, but he quickly made a name for himself in home brewing circles for using kind of unusual brewing methods and ingredients. He was using wild herbs and spices and wild yeast and a lot of other things in his beers actually, but he's actually been rated as one of the best newcomer brewers by Rate Beer, and his beers have remained high in the top 100s ever since the company was founded. They're quite high up I think in the top 100 brewers in the world if I'm not mistaken, so they do some really interesting things. But he now travels the world basically and does collaboration beers with a lot of different brewers, but more recently there have been quite a few kind of core range Stillwater beers come out. They are doing things on their own these days and just contract brewing them in different places as well, so they're a really interesting brewery. I don't know how much of a kind of fixed range of beer that they have. You can check out the brewery website in the description below and see that, but they produce quite a lot of different beers and they are really quite interesting, so definitely looking forward to this one. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoy my take on it. If you want to learn more about the brewery and the different beers that they do make sure you check out the links in the description below. But yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this beer then. So like I mentioned to you at the start of the video, this one is a 4.2% saison. It's actually brewed with sake rice and it's dry hopped with Citra, Hallertau Blanc and also Sterling hops as well, so it should have a nice noble hoppy presence, but a little bit of maybe tropical fruit and things in it as well from the Citra mangoes and lighter tropical fruits you usually expect from that. But let me just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open up. There you can see it's actually got this nice almost sake colour to it of course. As I mentioned to you before, I really do love sake. You can see here the katakana in Japanese, the alphabet of course that is used for formers. You can see do, rai, I. So for some reason the I it seems to merge with the Ra for some reason, which isn't really quite right, because you could mistake it I guess for the Hito character, or the character for people that you have in kanji. But you can see here, this is how you say beer in Japanese, biru, so you can see B, the little line kind of stretches it out, and then the ru is at the end of it. But Stillwater, extra dry, 4.2% saison like I said, and yeah, it should be really quite nice. So without further ado then, let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting. This can, by the way, is a 473ml can, which I think is a US pint, so yeah, different from the Imperial pint that we have in the UK of course, or back home in Scotland I should say. Our ones tend to be, I think it's 562ml rather than 473. But yeah, as you can see, this beer is poured really quite nicely. It's actually a lot clearer than I was thinking it would be. I thought it would be a lot more kind of hazy than that. There is a little bit of haze to it, I have to say. But yeah, it's poured a nice kind of golden straw colour. I think that's a fair descriptor of it. If I put my fingers behind it, there is actually quite a degree of transparency to this one. You can see little bits of sediment just floating around. There's actually a really bumpy head to this one rather than a frothy head. Although when I shovel the glass up, it does actually start to kind of mellow out just a little bit and become a bit more frothy. But big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones going up towards the bottom of that head there. But you can smell some of that lovely sake rice in this one. Sake, of course, it's the one thing you have to remember with beer and sake. Sake's got a lot more of a narrow flavour scope to it. If you've watched my sake reviews, you can see me reviewing some different sakes there. There are, of course, 4 primary types. You've got the Daiginjo, you get the Junmai Daiginjo as well, the Honjozo, and you can also get some Nigori sake as well. So basically, Junmai sake is the one that has pure rice grain in it. The Honjozo one is the one where they add a little bit of distilled alcohol to it, and you can get Ginjo and Daiginjo, and those 2 types are also how it's to do with how much they mill the grain of the sake. So Ginjo, I think, is 60% of the original size of the grain, and Daiginjo is when it's milled down to 50% of the original grain. And you can get other things as well, like Nigori sake, which is unfiltered and things like that. It's a really lovely drink. If you haven't tried it already, then do check it out. But with this one, it really does, you can smell some of the nice sake character under there. There's actually quite a citrusy smell in sake, this one. And that's one of the things, of course, that you do kind of rate sake on when you taste it. It's usually impact, dryness, kind of the citric character, floral character as well, and the ending as well. There's a couple of different factors that you think about when you're tasting sake. But this is a beer review, of course. I'm talking too much about sake. But yeah, with this one you can smell, it's got that nice kind of bready and slightly wheaty malt base that you expect of the saison style. But you can smell some of the sake rice just mixing in with that, although it is quite subdued. You know, you have to, probably to actually get the full gist of the aroma in this one, you would have to go and smell a few different sakes and just get used to the different aromas and things from them. But it certainly does, it gives me that kind of nostalgic element of going back to Japan and sniffing all these different sakes. But it's really, really nice smelling beer, this one. You can smell a little bit of the floral kind of grassy hops, as you get that from the Hallertau and also from the Sterling hop in this one. Yeah, definitely quite floral. There's a little bit of herbal character to it as well, and you can pick up some citrus. That will be coming from the Citra hop, of course. I'm not really getting much in the way of the mangoes. There is a little bit of the lighter tropical fruits like gooseberries and a little bit of lychee or something coming out of this one. But there's a bit of a slightly lemony citrus coming out of this one, definitely. I would say that about this beer. But yeah, it's this, the sake nose, like once you let the beer just come out and air out a little bit, you do start to get more of that nice sweet sake rice to it. So particularly with this one, when it is quite an unusual beer, and that's one thing I would always say about the Stillwater beers, when they're adding all these kind of random ingredients to them, then I would just shake them up a little bit and just see what comes out of them, because they do mellow out a little bit as you get them out into the glass. But yeah, lovely smelling beer this, so just take some time and enjoy it. That's half the experience, of course, with craft beer. But let's get stuck into this one then. So this one is the Extra Dry, a sake style saison from Stillwater Artisinal, a gypsy brewer mainly based over in Baltimore in Maryland. Slanja. That's quite interesting. It's not got the flavour profile that I was expecting from it. It's interesting because the sake flavour is there when the liquid is on your tongue, but as you move into the aftertaste, a little bit of it lingers there, but most of it disappears. And I'm just thinking that maybe one thing I should do with this beer is sugar it up a little bit and see if there's some more kind of sediment and things in it, because that is one of the things that you have to do with sake. I can see the beer's got just a little bit more cloudy there as I've put more in, so I guess this beer does have a good little bit of sediment to it, so maybe you should kind of invert the can a little bit before you actually open up, but obviously don't do it too much in case it explodes. Yeah, that's nice. That really is. This is a nice beer. The sake flavours in this one aren't as prominent as I was quite expecting, but it's a nice kind of quite easygoing saison. At 4.2%, it's not one of the heavier beers you're going to find from Stillwater, but it is really just quite nicely done, and it's a quite easy drinking one. I would say that about this. So with the mouthfeel of this one, or with the sort of malt base, I should say, it's a nice bready character that just blankets the middle of your palate. There's a little bit of pale malt character to it, but on top of that, there's a slightly thicker bready note, and you can feel some of the sort of ricey sweetness just in the middle of the palate there. There's maybe a teeny little bit of biscuit in there, but you are getting quite a bit of this nice sake rice in there. It's a very distinctive flavour that's kind of hard to describe unless you've actually tried sake for yourself. Yeah. It's got, this is more of a sweet sake. You can get ones that are quite dry and quite floral, and this one does have a little element to the rice that they're using in this one does have a little bit of a floral element to it. You can feel that just in the centre of your palate. It's quite unusual actually in a beer to get the floral character in the centre of your palate, because usually it comes from the hops on the outside of your tongue, and maybe that's why they're using these noble hops, because it kind of does blend together quite well. But for me, the rice that's coming out in this one does come across as just a little bit floral, but at the same time it's got a good bit of sweetness to it, and it's not too citrusy, I would say. The citrusy character in this beer is definitely coming more from the noble hops that they've used in this, and there's a little bit of it from the citra as well. And as you progress further into the aftertaste, I think you're getting there's a good little bit of lychee and kind of gooseberry note coming out of this one. More gooseberry right enough, but you can just feel that. If you just go behind the front curve of your tongue, you'll feel that little oily bubble where the fruity parts usually come out of the beer, where the nice fruity esters are. And for me, it's quite a kind of gooseberry character that's coming out of this one. But that's nice. Let's just put the last little bit in and see if there's more kind of sediment to this one. Yeah, there is a wee bit in there. You can see the beer has gotten just a little bit more sort of hazy with this, but that's nice. So with the hoppy side of things, there's a wee teeny bit of earthiness in the back corner of your palate, but as you come further forward, it does become more kind of floral there. It's actually got quite a bit of floral dryness on the front corners, and as you go round the front curve of your palate, it's a bit lighter and grassy. You do get a little bit of that almost kind of lemongrassy citrus character from this one, which is quite nice. This beer would actually pair pretty well with ramen or something like that, maybe udon or ramen, some of these nice Japanese foods. I do wonder if that's what it was intended for right enough. But as I said, the sake characteristics this one has, it's a little bit sweet, but it's also a little bit kind of floral and slightly citrusy too. So it's quite interesting in that regard. It would go nicely with a nice kind of pork ramen or something like that. A really quite interesting beer this. It's not quite got the flavour profile that I was expecting. I was expecting the sake rice to be a little bit more. If you think, for example, of the Hitachino Nest, the red rice ale, where it's got that really quite prominent ricey sweetness to it, that's what I was expecting from this one, but it's not quite the same. It is more of a it's more of a kind of regular beer than a rice beer, if that makes sense. This, but it works really nicely. It's got what you'd expect from the saison too, the nice kind of sweet, slightly sweet, wheaty sort of bready catch there. It doesn't quite have the same yeastiness that you can get from some of these beer styles too. There's only a little bit with that yeastiness in the middle of your palate as well, but I mean overall it is quite a nice beer. It's actually a very easy drinking saison. Like I said, it's only 4.2%. So it is really nice, and I do think this beer would be paired well with some nice Japanese ramen noodles or some udon or something like that. I think it would go really well with that. Maybe some okonomiyaki from Osaka, of course, as well. But a really quite interesting beer, this one, and very unusual compared to some of the other things that I've tried for you on the channel before. So if you come across this one, I do recommend that you try it. In terms of the mouthfeel, I would say this beer is quite light-bodied. It's at the higher end of light-bodied right enough, but it's not quite mid-bodied. The carbonation is moderate on this one. It's got quite a wet mouthfeel to it. There's not even really an oily character to it. It's got a quite smooth yet wet mouthfeel to it. There's a good bit of hoppy bitterness to it, but that, as you move into the aftertaste, it's the earthiness that lingers and just a little bit of the floral character. Some nice sweetness to the malt base in there. And just a little bit of juicy fruity character too, but the riciness, the rice characters that are in this beer do give it something a little bit different on the mouthfeel. But overall, it really is quite a nice beer, this one. So if you get the chance to try it, I do recommend that you have a look at it. It's not one that's going to blow your head in terms of hoppiness or sweetness or anything like that. It's just something that's a kind of unusual combination of flavours, and if you are a fan of Japanese sake, I think you will quite enjoy this one. And in terms of sake, this one does have a little bit of floral character to it, and also some sweetness as well. It's got a little bit of that nice sweet character. that you can get from Ginjo and Dai Ginjo sakes, actually, the Junmai sakes. But yeah, it's a really, really nice one, this, so if you get the chance, have a go at it. But I'm really glad I got to try this one. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews, thank you for watching. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do make sure you check out all my social media. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below, and do let me know what your favourite ones from Stillwater Artisinal are. This one is definitely one of the more unusual beers that I've reviewed for you on the channel. So yeah, thank you once again for watching, and I will catch you very soon. This was the extra dry sake style saison from Stillwater Artisinal, a gypsy brewer from Baltimore in Maryland. Make sure you try this one if you get the chance, because it is quite unusual. Until the next time, it's landed just now. I will catch you very soon. Kampai.